Hey everybody. I ran out of time yesterday to explain the annotations assignment in depth. I touched on it, but I thought I would make a video about it just in case it helps you get started on these annotations. Your first deadline is Friday, and then you'll have more due on Tuesday. So I'm here in our homepage for D2L, and I'm going to click on, I'll go up to Content and find the assignment here. So I gave you a paper copy of the readings in class, and I also gave you a paper copy of the assignments packet, which I think is blue. Let's go to the assignments packet first and look at what it says about the annotation sets. Um, here we have a basic explanation of how I want you to approach this assignment. First, you should read the text all the way through. Don't try to annotate the first time you're reading the text. Generally, once you get the gist of the text, you'll be able to make better annotations once you go back into it from the beginning. And then what I want you to do for each of your annotations, see if I can enlarge this here, is to write 5 to 7 annotations per set, per assignment. So if in this case there are multiple poems assigned, I don't want you to feel like you have to write about every single poem, as long as you're making 5 to 7 annotations total. And sometimes there'll be additional explanation of that in the reading assignment that week. So, for example, this week I'm asking you to comment on a few different poems instead of just on one, and to make sure you cover a poem by each author. Okay, here are some ways that you can annotate. You can react negatively or positively, skeptically. You can share what you like, share your responses as you read. You can ask questions that we can talk about in class, or maybe I'll try to answer you, or a classmate might try to answer you. You can look up things that you might want to know more about and cite your source, always, always, always. If you use something from another source, cite it. Put words in quotation marks if you take them directly out of a source. You can also look at how the writer is writing. If you're interested in writing style, you can look at the word choices they make, or the organizational choices they make. Any literary devices you see. Anything at all that shows me that you're thinking about what you're reading is going to be good, okay? As long as it shows me that you're trying to understand and engage with the text. Okay, for longer text also, I want you to show that you've read the whole text. So for the Mary Rowlandson captivity narrative, if all of your 5 annotations are in the first couple pages, that's a problem. I want you to spread your annotations so I can see that you've read the whole text. Okay, vary the kinds of annotations that you offer. Don't only provide definitions, so change it up a little bit. You could, for at least some of your annotations, reply to a classmate, as long as it shows that you're engaging with the text. And then watch for how I reply to you, and possibly your classmates reply to you as well. I do expect that you'll go back through and read everyone's annotations, because in a hybrid class, that's going to help take the place of an in-class discussion. And for all the text, it will help you enrich your understanding by seeing how other people have reacted. Okay, these need to be done before class on Tuesdays for the Tuesday deadlines. Late annotations will earn a grade of 0 unless you've gotten an extension. Okay, so here's what I'm looking for. You will have 18 opportunities to do these, and you must complete 15. So you can skip 3, or if you get partial credit on a few, those will be dropped from your grade. Only your 15 highest grades will count. Each annotation set is worth 20 points, and you will get all those points if you meet these criteria. If you submit on time and you complete the task, if you show that you're engaging with specific ideas in the texts, if you show that you've read the entirety of the assignment, and if you address the specific directions that might be provided for a set. Okay, you will get partial credit, the equivalent of a D, if you don't complete them, if they are insubstantial in quality and don't reflect good engagement with the text, or if you're simply just kind of copying what people have already said. You'll get no credit if you're missing 2 or more in the set, if they're late, if you've plagiarized or gotten AI to write them for you, Chat GPT. Do your own work, please. Okay. So here's some directions about using Google Docs. Okay, so let's just go into this. I'm going to go back into the table of contents and go to week 1. and find the text. Okay, I'm going to open the link I've provided to the Google Doc. Taking a second to load here. Okay, so these discussion questions will often be at the beginning of a reading packet for you. These just are meant to give you some things to think about. They're not the only things to think about, but they might help you focus your reading. They give you a sense of what I think is important about the text, or at least some of the things that I think are important. Okay, so these, they'll never have spoilers, so you can always read these before if you want. And feel free to use these to inspire annotations if you'd like. Okay, so here you can see that I have added an annotation just to explain what mean means. We talked yesterday in class about how the language changes. Okay, so let's say that I want to make an additional annotation. The way that I do this is, let me give an example here. I am obnoxious to each carping tongue who says my hand and needle better fits. I'm going to highlight that, and I'm going to click on the plus sign there and write in my comment. Bradstreet Bradstreet seems to be saying that she gets annoyed when critics say she should be sewing instead of writing. And I'm just going to hit the comment box. Okay, so now I've made one of my annotations. All right, now if you want to comment on that, you can click on it and reply, and click the reply button. Or you can simply go through and highlight something else that you want to comment or ask about. Okay, so the first few poems here are from Anne Bradstreet. And then we've got a couple poems by Edward Taylor, starting with the one that we looked at in class yesterday. So again, I want your annotations to show that you've read both poets. So comments on at least one by Taylor and at least one by Bradstreet. The directions say at least 3 poems total. Okay, so that's the annotation assignment. Remember that you'll be doing this again for the Rowlandson. You'll do this for almost every class period and every Friday. The exceptions are when we're reading from the books, and then you'll post discussion posts instead. Let me know if you have any questions at all. I'll be checking my email. I'm looking forward to seeing your reactions and your questions and your thoughts about these texts. Remember, you don't have to show that you have a perfect understanding of the text. I don't need you to show that you're an expert here. You can show where you're still confused. You can be honest about that, but I do expect that you will try. And I do expect that you will try to do this without using outside sources, okay? Don't go to Cliff's Notes or Sparks Notes. If you do use those kinds of sources, you better cite them so that you're not plagiarizing somebody else's ideas. Okay, so I'm interested in what you think and how you're reacting to these texts and the questions that you have. Have fun with this. Have fun interacting with each other and with me. I'm looking forward to seeing what you have to say.